Yeah, so we'll have a look at some examples on good and bad resumes. So on the left side, you see a resume where there are a lot of mistakes, which I said, a lot of don'ts which have not been followed here. And then on the right side, we have a resume uh, which has taken care of all those do's and don'ts. So for example, if you see on the left side, there is the address isn't full, which is wrong. You should only write your city or your state. The email address which we see here is very unprofessional. It's not sounding formal. So if you don't have a formal email, please create a new email and start using that instead. Because in childhood, all of us make funny emails, but right now at this stage, we should be using proper formal email IDs. And you also see that the contact number is missing. Now, if the contact number is missing, then maybe the HR won't be able to contact you, right? Another thing is education. In education, you can see that the person has not mentioned properly the institution name, the degree, and the year in which they passed. So it looks very clumsy here, right? It's not very clear what the person did. And the older education is first, and then the new one is given. It's wrong. The new one should be first, and then the older one. If the person has also mentioned a certificate, but it's very vague. When you're writing a certification, you need to put this place from which you did, whether online or offline. You need to mention the name of the certification and the year in which you completed it, right? Then you can see that when the person has written work history, the heading is in a different font style. This is wrong. Whatever font style you choose, make sure that from the first letter to the last, it's the same, right? Because it looks bad actually. It's not like anything which like professionally wrong, but it's not looking very nice, right? And then we see that the person has put their education in sorry, the experiences in from old to new. Again, it is a mistake because it should be from new to old. And there are some spelling errors as well here, which is again something which is very basic, right? You should not be doing this such a mistake because it shows that you're not serious about it. As simple as that. Then the person has put responsibilities, but these responsibilities are not backed by any achievements, any concrete goal which you have achieved through these objectives, like through the responsibilities you may have achieved something for the organization. It's not there. Then the person has showed interest, which is too long. They have explained about gaming, and now which is not required, right? The person can simply write casual gaming or competitive gaming. It's not required that the person puts a whole line to explain because it's not relevant to the job. Lastly, talking about references, this is again an optional thing and should only be put when asked for it. But if you're putting it, make sure you write the name of the person, designation, organization, email ID, and phone number. Everything should be there clearly. Just name and phone number does not work because it's not credible, right? On the right side, you can see that the person has written a formal email ID. The address is in short, only the district, this city is mentioned. Then the skills are mentioned at the very top, you can see. So the person, let's say, is from finance background. There are hard skills and soft skills as well. So in the hard skill, you can see the person has written financial administration, Microsoft Excel. As part of soft skill, the person has written attention to detail, which is a very required skill in a person for a person who is in the field of finance. So write hard skills and soft skills on the very top related to your job, which can show that, okay, this person is eligible. I don't have to read any further to understand, okay, if this person is eligible or not, right? Then if you see the professional summary, the person has started with explaining who the role, like a talented financial administration professional, who the person is for a period of 2 years, who is looking for a role within the field of finance sector. So it clearly states who the person is and what the person wants in their career. Then if you say education, previous slide please. Yeah, if you see the education, it's from newer to older. It mentions which you know uh, the institution as well as the degree here. So it is the right way. Now, if you see the percentage or the grades have not been mentioned, which is okay because it's not required as such, right? Then the professional experience here is written in much better manner. It shows the role, the company, the period in which you worked, and it also shows not just the responsibilities, but the outcome as such. You don't need to show what I was supposed to do, but what I ended up doing. Okay, if you just read through it, you understand that the language which is given on the right side and the given on the left side, it's of the same person, yet there's a huge difference. But even if you look, on the surface level without going into the details. Next slide, please. So another example which we have here is again of the same person, but there are two different resumes. Again, we can see there is a mistake when it comes to the objective section. So the person says that they're seeking a position of so and so without saying what they actually bring to the table. On the right side, you see there is no objective section. So even though I said that objective section is a compulsory element, a lot of people can skip it if they have enough to show on the other aspects, right? It's okay to skip it, but usually it's best because, as I said, only a few seconds are there, and an objective statement can really put a good impression if written well. Again, you can see in the education section on the left side and on the right side, it's the information is the same, yet the presentation is different. So it shows your achievements as well, not just what you studied, but if you have a really good score, mention it. So it puts an impression that, okay, you are strong academically. Then in the work experience, you see that the alignment is not proper. The segregation is not fine. There is no bold, there is no bullet points. It's just sentences one after the other, which are not maybe even related to each other. On the right side, you see there is a bold, there are bullet points. It is easier to read actually. Right? The same sentences can be written in two different ways. One can be difficult to read, one is easy to read. So use bullet points, use proper spacing. You see, it's in a single line if you see the bullet points. Then if you see the skills and interests, in one part, the skills and all are very generic. It's not very particular of the softwares which you know, or it's not very, like, what do you say? Hmm. It's difficult to read it because the person has really used some generic words. And on the other hand, if you see the community service section, in the other, it's just a single line which does not explain what he actually did, right? In the second half, you can see that the organization, your role, and the what your achievement or the actually what you did is given. So you need to give evidence of everything which you do, right? And it should not. And you see the spacing part as well. A lot of space has been wasted on the left side simply because things have been put beneath each other, and it's not starting from the left side of the page. So don't waste page like that, because again, you only have a single page to show everything. And you see the header which you have, it's put in the single line on one side, it's just below each other. So it's just wasting spaces, right? So when you're using a template, don't go for something which has a lot of color, which has a lot of spaces. Use something which has, which can help you put everything in one page without having a lot of white spaces in it.